What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. For today we are doing some boho braids on Aria, and then in the top half of her head we're gonna do some braids to the scalp just to give her a little look for the springtime. Alright, so starting off first, we are gonna go in with our parting. What helps me in getting decently straight, neat parts is to make a rough part of where I'm intending to, and then I'll take some kind of edge control or like jelly-like product, and then I wipe that across her scalp, right? Like wipe it across the part line, and then you can go in with a rat tail comb and really clean up those parts. I tend to take my time doing this, and even still it does not come out straight. So just remember, practice makes progress. It's not going to be perfect at first, but over time you'll get really good at it. Okay, boom. Now we're moving on to our individual section. I'm taking that same braid gel and just applying it to the base of the hair, and then I'm going to lightly comb through it. You do want to make sure that your hair is mostly detangled, because when it comes to braiding, you want your fingers to be able to slide and glide in and out of the hair without getting caught up on knots and tangles. Ultimately, it just makes your braid that much better, and it also minimizes frustration on hair day. So make sure your sections are detangled. Now on to braiding. So to start the braid, I do braid her natural hair, that is the hair coming out of her scalp, 1 or 2 rotations before I start adding the extensions. And then when I'm adding the extensions, they are super small pieces like you can see here. And then I just hold them between my thumb and my pointer finger. There's a different name for it, but I don't know what it is right now. I want to say forefinger, but I could be wrong. You're gonna hold the hair between your thumb and your pointer finger. You're gonna hold it so that it's pretty tight. That way you create like a little hook for yourself, and then you can hook it into the braid and then just braid down. I am not the best braider, especially when it comes to adding extensions. So what helps me is by kind of holding one piece in my mouth until I've added the other piece into the hair. This just keeps me organized when I'm doing this. So yeah, it's a hard concept to grasp sometimes. So just keep watching, make sure you rewind it if you need to, and then ultimately just come up with your own way that helps you braid better. Everyone is not going to do it exactly the same, and that's okay, but you can still get the results you want using different methods. Okay, so as I'm braiding the hair down, every now and then I'll stop to add some gel to the hair. I comb through it a little bit just to keep everything nice and smooth and make sure I can rake the product all the way through, and then I continue braiding. Once I have my braid established a little bit with the curly hair, I will go ahead and pull it out. I like to braid down with it a little bit just to make sure that it's nice and secure in there, especially for Aria, because kids be playing rough. Like, I don't know what happens at school, but they come home looking like they went to war. So yeah, I just needed it to be secure, because nothing more embarrassing than your braid, your hair falling out in the hallway. That's just not a look. Okay, that's not the look, that's not the vibe. We never want that. So just braid it in a little bit before you let it actually hang out. So after we have all of our pieces added, we continue braiding down the length of the hair. As I finish braiding, I focus on tucking Aria's natural hair behind the extension hair. This is gonna reduce the frizz because it's not gonna let those little hairs pop out. right? And it'll ultimately extend the life of your braid. So make sure you are tucking the natural hair behind the extensions. And here you see that I only left one little curly Q out for the entire braid, and that's because it is synthetic hair. Yeah, about 2 weeks into this hairstyle, I actually ended up cutting all the curly pieces out. They were really cute. I loved them, but then they just started to look like too much of a mess. So we cut them out and then we wore our braids for like another month or so. So after I get to the bottom of the braids, I just make sure I measure it against the other braids to keep them similar in length. And then I use my good old-fashioned lighter to seal off the braid. And that is going to conclude day 1. So for day 2, we are finishing Aria's feed-in braids across the top. I will say feed-in braids are hard, cornrowing is hard. There is no substitute for practice. So if you're not a good braider, you're not as confident as you want to be, which I am not either, just make sure you practice. I can say that one thing that changed the game for me is to make sure that I am gripping Aria's hair at the base, right? So you want to get as close to the scalp with your grip as you possibly can. It's not necessarily about pulling the hardest or creating the tightest braid. You just want to make sure that you have a firm grip on that hair as you're twisting it into the braid. So just practice feeling for the scalp and at the base of the hair with your pointer finger and your thumb, and that should help out a bit. And after 2 days, this is the completed look. This is a few days after we actually finished Aria's hair, so it is a little lived in, but still looks great nonetheless. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.